Hey guys, Onward here, Talking in Traffic episode 37. And when is a good time to buy property? I hear this question a lot, I see this question a lot, and really you have to run your numbers, right? Your numbers will give you confidence to tell you when is a good time to buy. I see coworkers, I hear coworkers asking me the same question, and it has to make sense for you on paper. What are your goals, right? Do you want to live there? Do you want to have it as rental property, right? Is it your primary residence, or are you going to rent it out? Are you going to house hack it, right? Maybe buy it because you're a single person and then you rent out a couple rooms and maybe live there for free. It has to make sense for you, right? So do you think that the market is very toppy? Are you at a peak of a market, right? They're not making any more land, so even if you're at a peak of the market, and trust you and me, I've purchased now at what I think two peaks. I've purchased a home two homes back in 2006 and 2007. Peak of the market, about the time I was getting married, and then after I got married, and then again in 2018, right? But I purchased at what I thought at the times were significant discounts. So one property was a foreclosure, one property was a short sale back in 2006, 2007, and then the property in 2018 was a FSBO, or for sale by owner. And I was able to get a remarkable deal there, $200K off what some comps were at the time. Now, if you can get those deals, great, but the idea is to be in market. Always be evaluating properties. If you're in the market, underwrite those deals and put it down in a Google sheet, or use a bigger bucket calculator. Whatever it is, you want to record it so that you know what a good deal is when you find it. And also, if you're in market, get that pre-approval ASAP, so that you can move on a property and put in an offer as soon as you find a really good deal. So step one, do your underwriting. Run your numbers, make sure that deals work for you. Here in the Bay Area, it's really, really expensive, but out in Ohio, Alabama, it is definitely not as pricey as it is out here in California. So do your due diligence, get your pre-approval, and then start talking and building up your network of people that are in real estate, right? So real estate investors, talk to wholesalers, go to real estate meetups, and see what you can learn from folks as well. So really get immersed in the language of real estate, so you can understand what the trends are. What you can also talk to agents to see what kind of agent you like to work with. Do you want to work with a discount agent who would rebate you back half the commission, right? Or do you want to work with a full service agent where you don't want to do anything? They would find the properties, the products for you, and take you to them, right? So figure out what you want and then build your team. And then finally, underwrite. Once you've underwritten the deal, found your team, and understand the market, you'll eventually come up with that deal. You'll find that deal that makes sense, put the offer down ASAP, and work with your lender, appraisers, to make sure that all the docs are in order, that the value is coming in as you expected, and then close with the title company. If you go with a full service agent, he'll help you, or she will help you through the entire process, especially if it's your first time. And if this is not your first time at the rodeo, then maybe you do go with a budget realtor because you're doing all the work and you like to do it. So Good luck out there. Invest in property as soon as you can. Even if it's a high market, right? You might be able to do some geo arbitrage, meaning you buy a house that might be outside of your market. That still makes sense, is in an economic growth area, and is a place for you to invest your money. If you want a house for yourself, there's never a good time to buy, because you'll always think it might not make sense. The market is either always going up and you want to wait until it goes down, or it's on its way down and you don't want to buy because you could still get a discount. So never a good time to buy. Just trust your numbers and see if you can absorb a 20% hit to the market. And if it's on its way up, obviously everybody's buying, but you still want to take into account, okay, if you can absorb a 20% hit to the current market value, then great. Jay-Z or other folks say if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it at all. But what that means to me is fundamentals, right? If you can afford to absorb some correction in the market, and ride out that correction, go ahead and do it. Some lessons learned of one of the purchases, my primary residence back in 2007 when we moved in. We got it on a short sale, and it needed some help. It needed some work. We took out the carpets, redid the floors, took out the popcorn ceiling, painted, ended up redoing the siding later and redoing the windows. But we wanted to start a family, and it wasn't a good time to buy a house, but we also knew going into it that it was, a topping market. The market was pretty high, but we got it in a short sale. And even after we bought it in a short sale during the Great Recession, 2008, 2009, we saw neighbors' houses go up for sale and get captured for half of what we purchased for, or practically half. So if we purchased around $699, we saw sales for $399. Not exactly half, but fairly close. So just something to consider. If you are buying, make sure you have enough cash reserves. But then also at the same time, if you are afraid of the market going down, maybe not buy the largest property you can possibly afford, but instead buy a modest property now that is nice enough that you can move in and improve it, but at the same time have enough cash reserves so that if the market does take a dive to a 20, 30, 40% hit, you are in a place where you can purchase another property, right? So you can, put down $40,000 to $80,000 on another property, right? $40,000 to $80,000 on properties in some parts of the country will buy those homes in cash. So that is some perspective for some of my family members in California, on the East Coast. On the coast, it's a little different than places like the Midwest. So put some money aside, invest in property that makes sense for you. Good luck.